You're going on an African safari? You know you're going to see a ton of elephants, lions, giraffes, leopards, rhinos, thousands of birds, zebras, cheetahs, buffaloes, hippopotamuses, hyenas, warthogs, wildebeest, reptiles, insects, and maybe, if you're on the coast, marine animals. You will see more animals than you can count, especially zebras and wild beasts or wildebeests. You're going to meet amazing people, witness vast and beautiful landscapes, and enjoy cultural experiences, as they say in Africa. Oh, wow! Hey, I am so excited for you. I've been traveling the world for over 30 years, and African safaris are some of the most incredible trips I have ever been on. This tour will be one of the best adventures of your life, but if you're planning on having the best time and you're not prepared with what to bring, it could be very challenging. That's why I made this video. I've seen a lot of packing lists for safari, and I'm always like, so for the smart travelers that want to experience the best, you have to watch this. First, I want to say that I'm highly experienced in giving this advice. I have literally talked to hundreds of safari goers, researched dozens of packing lists for African countries, gotten advice from many African tour operators, and have narrowed it down to this comprehensive list. Hey, this video is a little long, but it's going to be worth it. So here's the challenge in packing for safari. If you don't know what to experience, you won't be organized or prepared as you want or should be. You see, a safari is way different because Africa's different, and your itinerary will be different than anything you've ever experienced. So not only I'll share what to bring, but I'll explain why you need it. Now, in order to make this practical for you, I put together a safari packing list in the description of this video for free. You can download it. And instead of showing my clothes and gear, I'm going to give you pictures of examples of what I'm talking about. And all the recommended items are in the packing list if you want to buy them, or if you want a better picture of what I'm talking about. So let's get going with 7 pro tips for safari. Pro tip number 1. Dress for culturally appropriate adventure. You see, when you're out on a safari drive, you should be wearing neutral tones like khaki, beige, light brown, tan, and muted greens. Why? Because these colors blend into the natural environment, helping to observe wildlife without scaring them away or drawing attention to yourself. Second, you want to look the way that Africans expect we should look, and trust me, you don't want to look like a tourist. This is a trip you should blend in literally. You know, every professional safari guide you will see will have these colors on. So just to be clear, a safari drive is when you get in a vehicle and a guide takes you out to look for and then you watch wild animals in their habitat. This is what you're going to be doing for hours and hours. And you might have a ranger-led walking tour or a boat tour, but when you're out on a safari adventure, this is an incredible opportunity to see the animals do their thing, like eating and sleeping and walking and fighting and mating and stalking, and not watch them speed off after they see your blue and black shirt and red baseball cap on. So on an average safari of 7 to 10 days or more, many safari goers will generally wear the same outfit or mix and match every 2 to 3 days, which reduces bringing too many clothes, especially since you'll have access to laundry services or you can wash out your clothes. So, khaki, beige, tan, light brown, and muted greens are perfect for tops and bottoms. And you know what's not perfect? The colors dark blue, black, and any bright colors or camouflage. Leave them at home. So what's the deal with dark blue and black? Well, the African tsetse fly loves these colors, blue and black, and they can carry diseases and bite you, and the bite is so painful. I've been bitten at least 10 times when adventuring around warm and humid areas, and let me tell you, it leaves a big well and sizzling hot spot for a while. And then when you enter a national park, you'll notice blue and black flags that are attracting the flies and killing them. So no dark blue and black. Now, no camo. It's very culturally inappropriate, and it relates to gangs and warfare, and it could lead you into a world of danger. In fact, in some African countries, it's illegal. Now, no colorful clothes. Leave those for your next cruise or beach vacation. Remember, blend in, don't stick out. This is not a fashion show, and you're dressing for success. Now, if you are dying to wear dark blue or black or colorful clothes for dinner at night or in your room, by all means. If you have a date, your lodge, or resort, you're lounging around, that might be fine. But no matter if it's a shirt, shorts, baseball cap, if it's dark blue or black, just know that the tsetse fly are looking at that as a delicious target to suck your blood, and you might regret it. Earthy, neutral tones are the best for both your top and the bottom, and they're also the most culturally appropriate colors to wear for the people and the animals. Now, pro tip number 2, dress for flexibility. You know when the animals are the most active? Early morning. In almost any region, any time of the year in Africa, it's cold in the morning. For example, in my last safari, I was in the middle of the Serengeti in Tanzania at 5 a.m. when I went outside to photograph a hippopotamus walking by my tent. It was 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees Celsius. 2 years in the Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya, I heard an elephant munching on leaves. It was 52 degrees, 11 degrees Celsius, but it was damp, windy, and cold. Early morning is the go time for serious safari lovers when they're in your luxury glamping tent, crawling out of your backpacker's tent, walking from your room in your lodge to breakfast, or riding in a safari vehicle in search of your first animals. It's going to be cold, especially since the African sun isn't out yet. Flexibility is the key, and layering will be your best friend. You should think like 3 light layers on top, or 2 very warm layers, and 1 solid layer on bottom. And then add accessories. Now, if you get hot, you can always take off the hat or your gloves. But then you're in a spot where you can't add, you'll wish you had them. When that African sun comes out, let me tell you what, now's the time to shed a layer or 2. Pro tip number 3, dress for protection and the elements. You see, Africa in every sense of the word is a wild country. You'll experience hot, windy, dusty, buggy, humid, rainy, dark, unknown, unexpected, unscripted, potentially dangerous conditions a lot or to some degree. But don't get worked up. It's all worth it and just part of the great African adventure. It's wild and you want to be blown away. So because of that, you will want long sleeve shirts for protection against the sun, gusty winds, dust, and insect protection. And ideally, they should be lightweight and comfortable because it's going to be like an extra layer for warmth. Now, you could do lightweight short sleeves, but you'll probably want to roll them down because those tsetse flies in that sun. I'm a big fan of these long sleeve Columbia shirts, like the titanium or the PFG. I've been wearing them for about 20 years as a tour director. They're my go-to shirts for adventures all over the world. Now, tank tops for the layering element and not as outwear are good, especially technical fibers that are cool and wick away moisture and keep you warm. T-shirts are worn all over Africa. A fleece, vest, or cardigan might serve you well on those cooler nights when the sun goes down and you have hours of relaxing, downloading photos, catching up with family back home. Especially if you're staying in a glamping accommodation where your beautiful tent is not heated and you're enjoying the natural African climate, that's what you might need. You'll definitely want a lightweight or heavier jacket that is windproof or waterproof or both. I would not recommend wind or water resistant. You really want the protection. Now, if your favorite waterproof jacket is black, which many of them are and mine is, you could wear it around camp when traveling from one city to another on the airplane. But just beware, I've seen tsetse flies go through a black heavy jacket like that, and those people were in pain. Since we're talking about Africa, if it's windproof and waterproof, it'll do an amazing job with being dustproof from traveling from point A to point B, and I can't stress enough how dusty this continent is. From being caught in a dust storm on camels in the Sahara Desert to the constant bursts of wind in Nairobi National Park in Kenya. If you're in a national park, it's going to be dusty. Now, depending if it's rainy or, dry season, your waterproof jacket could be a lifesaver. For example, if you're on a walking safari and it starts to rain, you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no protection. So a lightweight rain jacket or packable poncho could be very, very valuable depending on your location and what season you're there. Now, I personally wouldn't go out and buy an earth tone color wind waterproof jacket just for your safari drives. When I'm on safari, I mix and match, layer my clothes with an earth tone color, like a medium jacket, and I'm fine. And if you're not aware of this, your safari vehicle will never have the air condition on. It's either open windows or partially closed windows. Now, if you're on an ultra luxury safari environment, paying over $20,000 for, say, 1 week in Botswana, then you might have AC in your vehicle. But for 95% of us, there is no air conditioning, and that's okay because we want to enjoy the environment. Now, while you're enjoying the environment, you've got to remember the dust, and you've got to cover stuff up. So a scarf or a neck gaiter is brilliant, and you just want to cover up anything that you might want to protect. Now, let's get to the bottom part. So you're going to want lightweight long pants for the same reasons we talked about: sun, wind, dust, and insects. Now, to all my people who love shorts, and I'm one of them, a safari drive is not a good place for shorts. Do you really want evil insects crawling up your thighs, trying to bite and burrow into anything they find? Me neither. Now, shorts would be perfect around your lodge if you're moving to another location, but in a lot of African countries, shorts are not viewed favorably, and some are not acceptable in some cultures, like when visiting an authentic African village. Africans are generally very modest and they cover up because, they're in Africa. So now if you want convertible pants, that'll definitely give you option, especially if you want more breeze through your knees when it's not dusty. Hey, those can be like shorts around your room or around your lodge. Comfortable sleepwear can turn into the next day's primary layer, or in an above average 4-star accommodation, a robe and slippers are provided for in-room evening wear. Before pro tip number 4 in this video, if this has been helpful and interesting, please consider subscribing, commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you so much. Now, pro tip number 4, dress smart. Let's talk about this African sun. Depending where you are in Africa, the reality is that you're so much closer to the equator than where you might be from, so the sun's rays are directly overhead or more, which means more concentrated sunlight. The UV index often exceeds 10 on a scale of 1 to 11, and there's a higher solar intensity as the atmosphere is thinner. Now, if you go to places that are higher in elevation, like Mount Kilimanjaro, which is 19,300 plus feet or almost 5,900 meters, there's way less atmosphere to filter UV rays, which increases the brightness and intensity. Now, add in the environment, which would provide strong reflections, and you have all the reason to protect your assets. A hat is a must. Some swear by a wide brim hat, that's what I wear, that offers protection 360 degrees, but others recommend a cap or a visor that protects the front. My personal recommendation, besides a wide brim, is one that's like a convertible neck protection for all the elements. And since your hat can be seen by all the animals during a safari drive, it should be neutral, earthy tone. Now, not thinking about your choice of sunglasses is not smart. Don't just grab your favorite glasses, and here's why you should have polarized sunglasses in Africa. So on a safari drive, you're going to have bright sunny conditions with light reflecting off dry grasslands in savanna or desert environments or sand or water. With polarization, there is more greater contrast in spotting wildlife more clearly, and since Africa is close to the equator, the UV rays are really strong, and polarization will reduce the glare and shield your eyes from this UV radiation. And last, your view will be more vivid, enabling you to spot differences in tall grasses, maybe helping you see a creeping leopard or seeing shapes better in the water, like the hippo mom playing with her baby. So, This is going to be an amazing adventure for you if you're prepared. So let's now start to talk about your footwear. So your footwear is very important. For all of your safari drives, you just want to be comfortable. Unless you know that your specific safari is ranger-led walking tours, bushwhacking through the jungle in Rwanda in search of gorillas, or if you're hiking up Mount Kilimanjaro. You really don't need boots, in my opinion, or very strong or protective footwear, but rather focus on comfort. I would never suggest open-toe shoes due to snakes, scorpions, driver ants, and other slimy, slithery creatures that could change your health in seconds by a wicked bite to the toe. You could use one pair of closed-toed shoes for your safari drives and then bring another of sturdy sandals or flip-flops for downtime at your lodge. So, especially if it's in a fairly secure location as compared to a glamping tent that's in the wild. Now, if you're in a glamping tent in the wild, I wouldn't recommend open-toe shoes just due to insects and reptiles. So now, along with your footwear, comfortable socks that are breathable for warm days and warm for cold mornings are ideal. For undergarments, bring those favorites, but remember these specs. You want quick drying, moisture wicking, or synthetic blends to help you stay cool, to reduce chafing, and to be lightweight. For women, safari rides can be really bumpy, especially on a long 3 to 5 hour ride, so a sports bra is recommended for better support. Now, on a 7 to 10 day safari, maybe 2-4 pairs of underwear, 2 to 3 bras, maybe 3 socks would be reasonable to bring, because remember, you can always wash them out or there's laundry service. Now, if your lodge has a pool or hot tub, of course you want a swimsuit. There's nothing like sitting in a pool watching elephants or giraffes go about their daily routines. It's amazing. For those cool evenings and dinners, casual dress or smart casual dress is in order. A lot of travelers tend to wear relaxed, comfy clothes of all colors, with some travelers really dressing up. It's just up to you and your specific itinerary. And of course, you might want some gloves that'll offer warmth and protection that are light and packable. Now, pro tip number 5, bring practical gear. So not too much, not too little. So personal hygiene and toiletries is a must think through category. I'm not a medical professional by any means, so first please check with your doctor about your specific destination and trip details and planning for the success of your health. First of all, your meds should always be in your hand luggage or backpack. Pharmacies in Africa can be a good distance away, and their inventory can be hit and miss, so keep those meds close. A general small first aid kit might be a lifesaver. Probably should include an antibiotic, pain reliever, antiseptic cream, band-aids, laxatives, motion sickness pills, cold and flu suppressants, anti-diarrhea meds, etc. Some say malaria pills, but I've seen more people sick from them than those that have been helped by them. You also want to bring your favorite stay healthy pills, drops, or natural oils, maybe like peppermint or lavender. Sunscreen with SPF 30 plus and lip balm with SPF will help you be protected. DEET or Picardin insect repellent should keep those pesky flying things away. Now, if you do get bit, you'll want anti-itch cream, and if you're on a 7-day or longer safari, the chances of you being bit are pretty high. Hand sanitizer and wet wipes might come in handy for those bush toilet moments, but if you're with a reputable outfitter, they'll provide toilet paper and a garbage bag. Feminine products are a must, and the chances of picking up your preferred ones at the store might be low. Now, inside the bathroom of your room, most lodges provide soap, shampoo, and conditioner, but your travel size ones will give you the creature comforts of home, and then you know you always have them. Unscented body wash and unscented deodorant are preferred. Regular hygiene products like toothpaste, toothbrush, face cream, bring it all, but try to keep it small and in break-proof, spill-proof containers. In your lodge and in your room, here's my number 1 pro tip. Bring a headlamp. I know your phone has a flashlight, but what if it's out of power and you can't find it? You see, when Africa goes dark, it goes real dark. 2 reasons are that light attracts insects and lights cost money. In addition, in so many places in Africa, you can really become one with nature at night, and artificial light ruins it. And as a tour director, A USD charged headlamp is with me at night 100% of the time, everywhere I go, so I'm hands-free, I feel more safe, and I can navigate dark places. Now, if you read with glasses or contacts, maybe you want to bring extra. At the end of the safari, if you don't want your glasses, you can gift them to an African. I usually bring 4 reading glasses. I lose one, I step on one, and then I leave all of them behind but one behind. Now, in your room, you might want a fan that's small, clippable, and USB charged. There's 2 reasons. Number 1, the fan might move that air around and keep you cool and keep flying bugs off your face. And 2, the sound might help put white noise in the air. You'll definitely want a small USD and multi-plug charger and travel adapter. Some lodges have limited electrical outlets, and your cube charger might save you when you're powering a bunch of devices. And depending where you're from, you'll need a universal travel adapter. Electricity in most popular safari countries like Tanzania, Kenya, Botswana, and more use 220 volts with a G plug, as in golf, or D plug, as in delta. Other important gear you might want to bring, and before I read this, don't forget to check out the links in the description for your Africa packing safari list. Okay, here's good gear. You ready? Here's a list. A dry bag to protect items from dust and moisture, like your camera and equipment. Not a huge one, but a decent one that you could put stuff in. Ziploc bags for whatever. But now definitely know this. Regular plastic bags in a lot of African countries, like just grocery bags, are banned, and you could be subject to a fine in the airport if they find them. So reusable or quick, small cloth ones are the best. You might want a multi-tool if you have a lot of gear that might need adjustments, a quick dry towel, travel locks, a packable tote or bag for day use in your safari vehicle, a sewing kit, an eye mask, earplugs for flights or light sleepers, energy bars, small games or an ebook for downtime, laundry sheet detergent for clothes that you might want to hand wash, a travel coffee mug, and a small journal and pen. Now, pro tip number 6, pack it right for the flight. So we've got most of our gear and clothes sorted out now. Now, how do we pack it? So first, if you're doing a safari in more than one location, you're going to be moving from lodge to lodge. Almost all safaris, except say 5%, which are ultra luxury, you carry your luggage with you from lodge to lodge. So ultra luxe, they have either a plane or an extra vehicle, but here's the deal. Because your luggage goes with you, it's standard protocol in Africa to pack your clothes and gear in a soft-sided duffel in the country. A duffel bag, a medium one, a large one. So here's the deal. Usually what happens is when you arrive, your tour operator will bring you a duffel if you haven't brought one. And sometimes they're small, they're a little bit bigger, and then you'll transfer your items into that duffel bag. Now that duffel bag will go with you for the whole safari, and your hard case luggage will be in storage until you finish the safari. So when you finish the safari, you'll repack it back into your suitcase. Here's my pro tip, and I've done this for every safari. Pack everything in your favorite luggage and include a duffel bag that you're going to use for your clothes and gear during your safari. Then after the safari, if you want to leave the duffel there, leave it. They can use it. If not, take it home. This is what I do every time, and I've got some favorite duffels. Again, check the link in the description. Now, in order to really make your suitcase and your duffel really efficient and organized, I highly recommend packing cubes. They make all the difference in the world. So some people take a cube and they pack like socks in one, underwear in another. Some people like to do outfits. So you got to just think through that. And then a large packing cube could always double as a dirty clothes bag. Another tip, if you're concerned where your suitcase is in your flight, just drop an Apple AirTag in it and bam, just like that, you can see that it's in Bali on the beach. Just kidding. In the unfortunate event your bag doesn't make it, this is a way to help the folks at baggage service get it to you as fast as possible. And you know what? Just relax. Hey, you're going to Africa and you are packing your bag, you've got to leave some space. How about those souvenirs? You're going to see some amazing African artwork and cultural items that you might want to bring home. Of course, the larger souvenir shops will ship them home, but you have to trust that they're going to ship it, pay for the shipping, then hope it arrives, and in one piece. So you might want to leave a little room for those souvenirs. And then, as you put your final touches on your suitcase, leave some room for donations. Gently used shoes, shirts, school supplies, children's vitamins, undergarments, feminine products, coloring books, soccer balls, markers, alphabet strips. It's all greatly appreciated and needed. Hey, let's spread some sunshine in the lives of some Africans who do good by bringing some stuff for them. So very important, you'll want a small backpack for your carry-on that can double as a day backpack for your safari drives. This can carry your valuables, and there should be a change of clothes in there in case your suitcase doesn't make it. Now this is where your important items are. First is your passport, which should be valid for at least 6 months beyond the end date of your trip. Ensure there's blank pages in your passport, so 1 page for entry, 1 page for your exit. At home, take a copy of it and keep it in a separate place, or take a picture of it and email or text it to your emergency contact that's not with you. Secondly is your wallet and cash. It's a best practice to kind of separate your money into different places. And then again, your credit cards, important documents, again, copy, give them to people. Third is your vaccination cards. So in certain countries, you need a yellow fever. And so you'll want to take a picture of that. Now let's talk money. So cash is king in Africa. Some places and almost all the larger lodges and accommodations will accept credit cards like Visa and MasterCard, but some will charge a fee and some won't. But US dollars are widely accepted, but the safest practice is to use the local currency. So in almost all souvenir spots, local or US dollars will get you a better price when you haggle, but beware. Most places won't take US bills printed before 2005. And the bills have to be in good condition. So obviously you can exchange them into the local currency, but a lot of African countries don't want you to take their currency outside of that. Now, speaking of cash, bring enough for gratuities. You see, in America, we are used to gratuities, but in the service-related industries, we know that many people live by gratuities. So it's very much like a cruise ship. So guides, lodging staff, porters, drivers, they generally work all pretty hard in Africa. For most companies, that makes up a lot of the guide's salary. So when you don't share generously, they suffer. If you have had an incredible safari, give back. Check with your tour operator. A lot of you will pay your tour operator ahead of time the standard gratuities. And if your folks in Africa have done a 5-star amazing job, please just take care of them a little bit more. So you can give that to your tour operator, or you can give them directly to your guides. So gratuity is very much expected in Africa. Now, back to your gear for the plane ride. If you're planning on bringing a camera bag, which most airlines will allow you to bring for free in international flights, this should be separate from your backpack or your carry-on. We'll talk about camera stuff later in the video. Okay, so your suitcase and backpack are ready. Let's think of that plane ride. Now, depending on where you live, it could be 10, 15, 20, 25 hours. And if you're not used to long flights, here's a short list of what you might want. Travel pillow, and here's a hack. Just get the shell and pack a lightweight jacket or a hoodie in there. Compression socks, seat cushion, and that's awesome for those long safari vehicle rides. Noise canceling headphones, reusable water bottle, and keep taking sips. Reading glasses, phone, entertainment devices, charger, foot hammock, yeah, they work, vitamins, and your meds. Now, for US and Canadian tourists entering Africa, in at least 15 countries, you need a tourist visa. And many of those countries are the best safari countries. Check with your tour operator and get this done ASAP. Sometimes the process online is lengthy and time consuming, but the nice thing about it is that it's done. Now, if your visa is denied, that gives you time to reapply. Sometimes it's just a strange technical error. If you do it at the airport, which you can in some countries, it's time consuming, not really recommended. Now let's talk trip insurance. Do you need it? In more than 30 years of traveling the world, I feel the world is split 50-50 on this. Half the world believes that the cost of travel insurance is so low, it could cover more than an emergency, and it's 100% worth it. These folks usually have a little more money, or they're more conservative in how they travel. They're probably not an adventurer that goes wingsuiting. The other half of the world believes in free spirit and they go with the flow, and they'll just adjust to the current situation, make the best of it. These are the ones that would rather spend money on an excursion or an extra day on vacation, and they might not have the extra funds to insure their holiday. Whatever your personal decision, stand by it. But if you're looking for some of the most dependable travel insurers, check the description to see who I recommend that has a 98% payout of claims. But big caution. Plan, if you have a health emergency in Africa, what the process is and how it's going to be paid. And make sure you have the correct documentation that's either printed, email, or sent or text to you or your emergency contact that's not on the trip. Now let's talk camera. Pro tip number 6, take phenomenal pictures and videos. Who's going to Africa and not wanting to take killer pictures and videos? Nobody. So let's talk camera stuff. Now, I'm just an amateur, but I've taken some pictures on safaris that I'm proud of. And over the years, I've had some nice compliments, even from Nat Geo offering to buy a few pictures from me. Here's the deal. Who has 10 grand for a camera and a great zoom lens to use for one safari trip? Then what do you do with it? So here's a pro tip. Don't buy a camera and great lens. Rent one. Before we continue, check the description to see who I use as a tour director when I travel the world every time I rent. And if this video has been helpful and interesting, please consider subscribing, commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you. Here's the deal with photography. You want the best you can afford on safari. And when you rent, you can get the newest, best gear that's highly recommended, and then just return it. So I've rented new cameras, awesome lenses, unique cameras like Insta360s. And after many safaris and taking photos all over the world, here's my safari suggestions. Now this is just for us normal photographers that might have a good eye and work hard for our pictures. So you definitely want a DSLR mirrorless camera with telephoto of at least 200 millimeters, but most recommended is like 100 by 400. If you can get 600, do it. Most of the animals will fit in the frame of a 400 millimeter. For landscape, wide angle of 1635 will do the trick. Of course, there's limitless add-ons and various lenses, night photography, but I and many professional safari photographers would recommend for normal people like you and me these cameras. Now, accessories are a must, like extra batteries and memory cards, chargers, a small tripod, cleaners, and a way to keep dust out of your camera gear. So, like I said before, I brought a dry bag, and when we were driving on dusty roads, I had that camera in there. Now, I'm super excited because in a few months I get to head out back to Africa with an amazing group of people, and I really haven't decided on my camera kit yet. But here's what I had last summer, and I was very happy with it. So I rented the Nikon Z6 II with a Nikon Z 100-400 millimeter and a couple other lenses. Here's some pictures from that safari with that camera with very little post-editing. Now, if you're taking video, most newer cameras will take superb video. Now, if your phone is newer and takes great photos, which many do, that's a great option, or even a backup. The challenge is many animals are not wandering right by your vehicle, and therefore you have to zoom in. When you zoom in with the challenges of Africa lighting, you're going to have some grainier. You're not going to get that great shot, especially if you need to blow it up. So don't make the mistake of having a poor camera or video for capturing amazing things. Now, speaking of your phone, make sure you have the latest update, plenty of storage, and a power bank that can charge it. But remember, in really good safari vehicles, you can just plug it in. So you want to see animals without taking photos? You have to have binoculars. Don't even think about going without binoculars if you really want to see animals. Now, if you're just a chill person, let other people see them and then you'll see them, cool. Now, you could share with a friend, but they might want the binocs. So here you go. For a quality one, you should get like an 8x42 or a 10x42 range binoc, and that would be in the 300 to 800 range. Now, most binocs run between 200 and 2500, but here's another pro tip. Rent one. That's right. Or borrow one from a friend. Where I got my camera, that's where you can also rent one. Now, when you're taking pictures and looking through binocs, you probably want to learn about the animals. So I would suggest bring a wildlife field guide or a pocket guide brochure to help you identify and explore the animal world. I'd recommend Princeton pocket guides as well as Waterford Press pocket guides. These are like small and durable and just really great colorful pictures. And along with the knowledge of your safari guide, you're going to be on your way to a safari TED Talk. And if you're done with them at the end of your safari, leave them with your safari guide. Hey, I could keep going on for a long time, but I think that's pretty comprehensive. If you want to see what an amazing safari looks like in Tanzania, click this video. And if you want to see a beast of a safari vehicle that you might ride in, click this video. Please click my face to subscribe, like, comment, turn on notifications, and share for more bucket list and adventure items. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing safari.